So, this is the M4 Swordfish ICBM. It's an ICBM, yeah, it does what you think it does. So this is how it works. There's a payload vehicle and there's a trigger vehicle. And the payload vehicle is what actually carries all the destructive power of the ICBM, right? So these here, you can see that there's honey blocks for TNT minecarts, and there are 5 carriages. And this is actually infinitely extendable, so you can have as many carriages as you want to make the hole as big as you want. And the way you load this up is pretty simple. You first put blocks over all the honey blocks, because you can't place rails on the actual honey blocks for some reason. I mean, it's a transparent block, so it has a few weird things about it. And what you do is once you put the rails all above the honey blocks, like so, then you can add the TNT minecarts, 1 per rail, and there's this sort of thing that we're working out where one of the TNT minecarts doesn't actually go through when the bomb bay's open, basically. And so you have like 1 lost minecart per carriage. But we're still working on that, so in future versions of the ICBM it may not be as much of an issue. Now once all of this is done, and we're finished loading up the ICBM, this thing costs about 3 stacks of slime and 1 stack of honey, and the destructive radius is 64 by 16 blocks, so 4 chunks. 4 by 1 chunks. And this is a payload vehicle. So what happens is I can start the payload vehicle, and you can see it starts flying up. All the rails are bouncing off the slime blocks, just like you'd expect. And what this will do is, geez, what is that? Okay, once that reaches 320, which is the current height limit, this thing will start flying horizontally towards the target. And the delay between the payload vehicle and the trigger vehicle, that's what actually adjusts the range. So this has an infinite range within loaded chunks. There's no, like, weird shenanigans where it just, I don't know, it's what you'd expect it would do, right? So once this goes up to 320, this vertical lift, this thing, this will jam, and this starts flying horizontally. And you can see that it's actually kind of set back, each one, so that's why there's a gap in between each of the carriages. This whole thing is completely recyclable, except for the TNT minecarts. So you can see that now this is actually going horizontally, and this has jammed, which means that it's time to start our trigger vehicle. Nope. This is a little finicky. There we go. Now this trigger vehicle, you have to actually provide like a really short pulse to these. I think it's a 0-tick pulse would work best. So you can just have like some sort of falling sand or observer thingy. It'll be fine. So this is the actual missile now in midcourse phase. That's the boost phase that's coming up. You can see the trigger is also coming up. The trigger moves faster than the actual payload vehicle. So the trigger catches up. You see each of these pistons. This is actually really loud, so let me turn that down. Wait, music and sounds. 25, yeah, okay. So each of these this trigger vehicle, this triggers each of the carriages, because there's a piston here, and that basically releases all the TNT minecarts at once. And this jams the missile into place so that it delivers on target. And you can ignore that, that's just like a random fluke. But you can see that the trigger vehicle is now launched horizontally from the vertical lift. This whole thing is ready to be recycled, so you can recycle this at any time. This trigger vehicle is moving along. You can see there's the observer here that will power these pistons, and you can also use a redstone block, but I choose to use an observer just because, I don't know, it's more modern. Okay, so this takes a while to catch up, and you can see that the delay between when we launch these vehicles is basically how far this missile can travel before it detonates. I've already done some tests, obviously. But it packs quite a big punch. So you can see that it's almost catching up now. And I'll just let this play out. And there we go. Okay, it's about to release the first bomb bay. It's jammed. So this whole thing has stopped and frozen into place. That bomb bay is gone. That's dropping. Okay. This is about to drop. There we go. It's dropping. This is about to drop, and you can see it's starting to make these holes there. Because the thing with using regular TNT is it's going to detonate at some point down the line, and this carriage will just keep on going. This is what happens at the bottom. You can see there's another fresh load about to fall, and this is the hole it creates. This whole thing up here, that's all recyclable now. So you can, except for this thing, which will keep flying off into the distance unless you stop it. But all of this can all be scavenged if, you know, the area above you allows you to do that. This can be scavenged at the launch site. So that's not a big issue. And obviously this, the actual redstone launch mechanism, super simple. That can also be reused. So everything can be reused here, except for the actual TNT minecarts. Yeah. Alrighty, that's gonna be it.